Hey everybody, St. Paul Peterson here, and welcome to another edition of Music on the Run. This is episode 4, and today's guest is singer-songwriter Eric Hutchinson. Eric and I recorded this interview a few months back. He was in town recording in the back room of Creation Audio with a bunch of mutual friends here from Minneapolis. We sat down, we talked a lot about music, we talked about what it's like to survive on the road as an independent artist. We also talked about myotonic dystrophy, and this is something near and dear to Eric's heart. It is a disease that ended up taking Eric's dad's life. So Eric is trying to raise awareness about this. We talked a lot about mental health and how running has been a positive influence on him. And since we actually taped this a few months back, Eric has successfully completed the New York City Marathon. We'll talk about all that stuff and a lot more. That's on the next Music on the Run. And if you like what you're hearing here today, make sure you go back to where you get your podcast and press the subscribe button first of all. Also give us a rating, and if you have time, please write us a review. Most importantly, please share it with all of your friends so we can get some more partners up in here. We want everybody to know all the great guests that we have on here and all the tips that we're able to give you through these interviews. Today, our guest is Eric Hutchinson. Welcome, bro.
Hi.
Hey, man. So I'm going to tell everybody a little bit about you. He's an international platinum-selling singer, songwriter, and seasoned touring artist. Performed in all 50 states.
Yeah.
Shared the stage with such acts as Jason Mraz, Amos Lee, Ingrid Michaelson, OAR, and Michael Franti. Did I say his last name right?
That's right, I think, yeah.
God. His single Rock and Roll earned him his first gold record in the United States, and the song became a #1 hit in several countries. Bravo. We'll talk about that in a bit. Eric lives in New York City and is an advocate for the Myotonic Dystrophy Foundation and Operation Smile. Thank you for coming by, brother.
Yeah, for sure.
I appreciate it so much. So, I mean, literally, he just got done doing a record in the back room. We're at Creation Audio.
Yeah.
And why you are here a lot. You must love Minneapolis.
Yeah, my wife always says when she doesn't know where I am on tour, I'm probably in Minneapolis. So
what is it about Minneapolis?
I don't know exactly. I mean, I've just done well here. People dig the music, so that's been great. But then also a lot of my band members, Elliot Blofis and Ian Allison, and they're from here originally. And my front of house guy, Miles Hansen. So it's just a lot of connections here, and I just dig the vibe. You know, I feel like it's really culture appreciation here, but maybe without some of the attitude that I get back home in New York. So
you're supposed to have attitude in New York.
Exactly. But
or the tamed down version.
Sometimes it's exhausting, you know.
Exactly. Well, we're glad that you've adopted this as your second home. That's really cool. And recording here, like I was just telling you before we started rolling that you asked me how long we've been here, and I said 1986. And you were intrigued by the records on the wall, and you mentioned one in particular.
Yeah, Paul Abdul. That one loomed large for me when I was a kid.
Oh,
so
yeah.
What were you playing on that stuff?
I did a lot of arranging, and I played keys and bass and that kind of stuff. So yeah, funny. A lot of people probably don't even know this, but she was my choreographer on my record I cut here in '86. So when she said, "Oh, I got a demo deal," and I'm like, "Oh, isn't that cute?" And she said, "Do you have any songs?" I said, "I'm tapped out because I just did a record, but I have a great friend who's got a bunch of songs, and let me hook you two up." I played her a song that was "Forever Your Girl," and the rest is history.
Yeah, right.
So,
multi-platinum history.
Woo.
I didn't realize I just liked the music when I was younger, and I liked her. I think she was my first concert even, but like...
Wow, really?
Yeah, but I didn't realize until like kind of recently when I went back and listened, I'm like, oh, that's just totally grabbing that Minneapolis sound and like
absolutely.
You know, like I didn't really get it at the time. You know, you just kind of like what you like, but now I'm like, oh man, that is right in there. It's really borrowing from everything that's, came out of here, so...
Well, my buddy I was telling you about is Oliver Lieber, and he played with Jesse Johnson. If you don't know who that is, he was the guitar player in The Time.
Yeah, right.
Then he hired me to play some of the stuff when I was in The Time.
Cool.
And my brother Ricky produced Prince, and he ended up working on the record. So yeah, the Minneapolis sound was definitely all over that record. But
Right,
that's
yeah.
cool that you know about that record, though.
Yeah.
That's
I love
really
that
fun.
one.
So, I mean, I've been researching you. I went on a run today. Of course, I went on a little 4 or 5 mile run, and
Good.
I got Spotify in my head, and I got the last record you did going on. You're eclectic, man.
Thank you.
I mean, I think that's so cool. A lot of different genres. How would you describe?
Man, I've been doing
What
this a
you
long time, and I'm still not good. Whenever people are like, what does your music sound like? I'm like, I don't know.
And I have the same problem.
Yeah.
So it's interesting for me to hear how you answer that.
These days, I kind of just talk about like my influences. Like I'll tell someone like, I love Paul Simon and Stevie Wonder, and I'm trying to bring that together, kind of. or
Totally.
something. But I don't know. It's just singer-songwriters for me, really. Songwriting was really important in my family growing up. My mom used to quiz me on which Beatle was singing the song and had
hear
written
them
it.
in your music
I mean,
too,
yeah,
man.
the Beatles for sure, huge. That was kind of where music started for me. And but yeah, I love all kinds of stuff. And I think these days, whenever you ask anybody what they like, they always go, I like everything, a little bit of everything. And with the shuffle era, as I call it, kind of, where like a song that doesn't make any sense can be next to another song, and it just kind of works these days, because it has to.
All right. Do you ever feel the pressure? I mean, and we'll talk about the biz a little bit, but do you feel the pressure that I have to have sound a certain way, or I've got to make a cohesive record and I don't got to sound like this? I mean, that's a malady for probably every artist. I mean, are you at the point where you're like, hell with it, I don't want to do that anymore?
I definitely felt that pressure, especially like when I was signed to Warner Brothers and
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of the major label world. That was definitely, there was more pressure of like, you need to, fit into this box. We need to know what to do with you.
Yeah.
I'm less interested in that lately, but I've been kind of working within genres, sort of like this record we're just finishing here is my homage to 90s alternative music.
Tell
So,
me a
like,
little bit more about that.
yeah,
'cause
I mean,
the
that's-
fans will want to know about
yeah,
that.
so I kind of grew up listening, when I was like first learning guitar and everything, it was like right in the height of like grunge and 90s alternative stuff. And so like that was the stuff I was learning to play on guitar. And
Cool.
and that just like, it just feels really natural, and I think is kind of where my songs are always sort of based. So I just sort of had this idea of like, what if I just sort of it's almost a concept album. It's like songs about my high school days in the style of my high school days.
Oh, cool. So that's the new one.
Yeah, and so we've been kind of doing that, and it's like Weezer-ish and kind of Lemonheads and stuff like that. So it was fun to sort of go back into my like 16-year-old brain and write songs from that perspective, because my life's not that exciting. So it's fun. I need to like create new problems sometimes to write about,
Oh, the life of an artist. Right?
Yeah.
So
exactly.
you're a bad dude. You play so many different instruments, man. I was checking out the live show and stuff like that. So how did that come to be? I know your pops is a guitar player.
Yeah,
was a guitar
yeah.
player.
My dad was a guitar player, and my grandmother was a classical viola player, professional viola player, and she would. I grew up outside DC, and she would get hired. She had her own string quartet thing, did weddings and stuff, but she would get hired when big acts would come through town and hire their whole string section. So when I was growing up, she was playing with everybody, like Tony Bennett, Stevie Wonder.
My favorite. He was just here, by the way, and I missed it.
Oh, I've never seen him live. That was the thing. She was doing this when I was just a little too young, so I missed all of them, like Ray Charles, Aretha Franklin, Smokey Robinson. But she was really pushing on like us to take piano lessons.
Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know. Who else?
John Denver.
Yeah?
She played with John Denver. Yeah,
She did?
Yeah. And
Dude, I love John Denver.
he's a cool cat.
He was so cool. Great, simple, beautiful folk pop songs, man.
Yeah. Yeah,
God.
good stuff. Stuff that stands the test of time for sure.
Big time.
But yeah, my grandmother kind of was like pushing, okay, everyone's going to take piano lessons in the family. And just, you sort of had to play an instrument to be a well-rounded human being.
Right.
And I just right away, from as long as I can remember, just liked making up my own songs. Maybe because I didn't want to practice enough to be able to play other people's songs, but
It was your diversion, right?
yeah, right. But I just
Totally.
liked making stuff up. I mean, I'm sure it was like that for you.
Oh, yeah.
It's just what I like doing, and that's kind of where I am right now too, where I kind of just feel like I'm a beaver making a dam, and the beaver doesn't finish the dam and go, is this the best dam I've ever made?
Right.
How does this fall into the legacy of dams? And like, The beaver just makes a dam because it's what you do, you know?
Right.
And that's sort of how I'm feeling at this part of my life of like, I just write songs because it's what I do. It's
Right.
I like being creative.
They're like postcards, man. You don't want to overthink them. You want to just send them out and move on.
I like that.
Right.
I like
Really.
that a lot. Yeah.
That's how it is for me. Otherwise, you got to write the perfect postcard.
Yeah. I like that. That's good.
Should I go or I love you? Or, no, next. And you
Yeah.
have to go through a little postcard.
I'm going to steal that one. That's
You
good.
may. But I think it's, again, I think a lot of artists have that in common where they sometimes overthink situations or records or songs, or they can at different stages of their career.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's been fun. The mental torment of that is just
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing a lot of this album with live tracking as much as possible. That's so much more fun for me. I just definitely got way lost in a couple of my old albums where,
Really?
just the details by the, I don't know if it's like that for you, but by the end, I'd just be like, I hate every single
this
note of
record.
this album.
I don't wanna hear it
It must
again.
be done. I hate
Right.
all of it, like, I just don't like that feeling. It's not worth it to me. And I don't think it really helps or serves the music or the art all that much, So like, I'm just much more interested in like capturing the overall vibe. And
there's a purity in that.
yeah, I like to think so. And it's definitely the kind of music that I
Yeah.
love and that era of music. And I mean, that was one of the big things, all this 90s stuff I was studying that was before Pro Tools. So like stuff is got human error and like,
Loose.
yeah, I
Loose,
like that
baby.
though. But I like
But you
that
do
stuff.
that in your
so,
own music, musically though.
Yeah.
I heard that. I'm like, I'm so glad you let that fly. But it's cool. It's great. It creates that because we all know how to make perfect records. We
Right.
know how to do that. But why?
Yeah.
You can play. That's the beauty of that.
And always when you make a mistake is always the thing that people talk about later or when I do a take and
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that was too showy. And everyone's like, no, that was perfect. That was so great. And like, or if like, that's the stuff I'm always pointing out in other people's records. Like, oh, you can hear in the background, he drops a glass right here or something, and these days you just take everything out, but
You can.
it's fun to have the little Easter eggs and stuff like that.
Well, you the records that I've heard of yours, you seem to always record with a band, right? Is that
The
am I
early,
incorrect?
I mean, the earlier stuff was kind of like overdubbing and kind of piece by piece, but that was just so laborious for me and just not fun. Like I said, like it's much more fun for me to put the guitar on and kind of do as much of it live. So the last couple of things have been as live as possible.
How much do you like to play on your own records, meaning different instruments?
I don't really like to.
Really?
I'm really lately. I saw this documentary about Bowie, and it was talking about what album was it? It's Modern Love, I think is the name of the album. And he played like nothing on it, and that made me feel very free of like, oh, like because I always felt like it's got my name on it. I have to be on it all the time. And
I know that one.
yeah,
But
yeah. And I'm not that good at some of this stuff. I'd rather bring in the perfect person who can just nail it. So
Right.
I'm sort of enjoying being more of the producer and I play rhythm guitar and a little piano if I have to or whatever, but
You're underselling yourself. Bill.
I think
I've
of
seen
myself
you.
as a singer and a songwriter first. So
Dude, it's funny. I was listening to the last record, and you are howling like an R&B soul singer. I'm like way up in the stratosphere with these lines and these runs. I was like, you prick. I mean, I'm so blown away by that. And that must be from all your influences. You said Stevie. You said
I mean,
Paul Simon.
yeah, Paul McCartney can get up there and do that stuff too. I
heard
love
John
a lot
Lennon
of
and some of your phrasing.
yeah. I appreciate it. And just a lot of soul music. I love kind of classic soul music and everything, and just kind of feeling the moment. That's what I gravitate toward is when like you hear music and you're like, this person really means it. Like you can hear it in the voice, or at least they've
Totally.
gotten really good at making it seem like they mean it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But even to the point where you even reach back into the production kind of sound of the 60s soul stuff on a couple tracks
Yeah.
here and there. I think that's so cool, man.
Yeah, thanks.
Because the kids, they'll go, what is that? I've never heard it before. They'll think it's new.
Yeah, right.
But we just know it's just good, old-fashioned R&B soul music.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what it's all about. Okay, so I know you have limited time today, so I do want to talk about how you started off in the biz right? So you how did that look for you? Did you start off right around in DC or?
Yeah, I went to school up in Boston, and then I was always doing music, but then I started taking it more seriously, and I just decided to give it a go. And I mean, that's one of the things I'm more proud of is I had no idea what I was doing.
Oh yeah.
And I spent a long time doing the wrong things, but the fact that I've managed to make a living doing it is like, this is something I'm very proud of, because
as well you should be.
And I just sort of started out like, okay, I guess I'll just try play a bunch of open mics and like, I don't know, make fans there and start a mailing list. And I was notorious for just like showing up, playing my like 2 songs at the open mic, circulating the mailing list and then leaving and going to the next one, like.
What city is that?
That was Boston and New York a little bit. And then I was living out in LA for a little bit. I did it out there. And, but that stuff was kind of lonely. I didn't really like the hang that much. And like, I don't know. In some ways I don't always feel like I get along with lots of other musicians and things like that. And
how important is the hang to you, man?
I mean, that's why I really love my current band, The Believers, and everything. Because when I do find the people, then it's almost more important than the music. Or I think it really serves the music. That's I always talk about that. Of like if you're not happy off stage, it's really hard to be happy on stage, and that's really cyclical to me. So I've really got this band that I really love right now. But I'm not the guy that wants to hang out late into the night at the club or just hang out in the studio if I don't have to.
No. So what's your jam? You want to go home, hang with your bride? Is that the deal?
I want to eat dinner. That's mainly it.
Speaking of it,
no, it's
dinner. Check, please.
Yeah, the dinners is what it's about for me on the road, especially. And I live for food. And
you cook?
I do. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And that's definitely one of the things I miss when I'm traveling now.
Oh wow.
But yeah, I don't know. I just I love movies and I love all kinds of stuff. I love music, but I need breaks from it sometimes.
Amen to that. Amen to that. So walk me through the Warner Brothers signing.
Yeah, so
that was Madonna's label. Was that your first major?
Yeah, so I've been doing it for a couple years at that point and was just busting my ass. And I caught on and with a friend who was at a different label, and there was a little bit of blood in the water, and the A&R people started to come out and take a listen, and I got signed to Maverick Records, which was Madonna's label, through Warner Brothers, and I was just so excited that I didn't really notice as I was walking around that like the place was kind of crumbling on the inside, like they were getting ready to shut it all down. So I was like in the middle of making the first record, and I get the call of like, everything's on freeze, you're going home tomorrow, you can't stay in the hotel room. It was just very much like popping the bubble. And that was hard. It was really hard, and I really, I'd been doing it a few years at that point, and I really felt that they gave me a little bit of money to go away, pretty much, and
it's really so disheartening. Man.
Yeah, I just really felt like maybe this is the universe saying like it's time to move on, and maybe I should use the money for something else and just kind of start another thing or something.
How old were you when that happened? Were you in your mid-20s?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you're like, what is God telling me to do?
Yeah.
Am I supposed to go to the bank now and be a teller or what? Not that there's anything wrong with it, but
yeah, no, I just it was really hard in the beginning. Partially because I said I didn't know what I was doing, so I was doing a lot of But in retrospect, I had a manager that used to say, "You'll use it all," and I like that line. It's like you just never know what from your experience you'll end up pulling from, or one show these days I'll be able to do something because I did a bunch of crappy shows back in my youth where I had to learn how to do this or that,
Right.
And so
you're always in school.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
It's true. You can draw. I mean, and I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
So you get signed.
Got signed. And
went away.
And then dropped, and then
then the Perez thing.
Yeah, well, so I'd spent I just never had made like a real official album. I had a bunch of stuff that fell apart. I'd thrown money at, and it just had never come together. And I was just like, I don't think I can go on to something else if I don't at least just give it one shot to at least see if I just made it and I can at least feel like I tried it all the way. So I made this album on my own, and then I didn't know what to do with it. And this blogger, Perez Hilton, found out about it from a friend of mine who just sent him the music like cold through like an email.
Just out of the blue?
Yeah, as a fan. And he just liked it, and he put it up on his site, and it just it went viral, as they say these days, Like, it's one of the best days of my life, though, because it was just like everything connected for the first time, and everyone was calling me, and people who had been avoiding me and not returning calls. Everyone's come
All
out
of
of
a
the
sudden, they're
woodwork.
your best friend, aren't
Yeah,
they?
yeah. I mean, I'm sure you've had a bunch of those kinds of days, and it was just a cool. It just felt like everything was happening, and that sort of wore off after a couple of weeks.
Yeah, but you need that, man.
Yeah,
you
but
need that.
Yeah,
You
for
are
sure.
good. You need that pat on the back. That's so important, man.
Definitely, and
It's
also
a lonely thing being an artist.
Yeah.
And if you don't get that love and everything, well, no one cares, and my songs suck, and I'm just gonna go home. I think we all suffer with one form of that or another.
Yeah, for sure.
Get that nod, man, in such a bizarre way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was very surreal. I say it was like my birthday, but like times 100 or something. It was just everyone was paying attention for a little bit, and it really helped. And that got me re-signed to Warner Brothers, who didn't know that I'd already been signed there like 6 months ago. So it cost them a little more the second time.
God,
but
good. I hope you had a good lawyer.
But so then I signed to Warner Brothers and put that album out through them, and then it's just, as they say, a blur kind of. I was doing lots and lots and lots of just years on the road, opening for anybody who would have me, and doing tons of radio visits, and just traveling a ton and being young and busting my ass kind of,
Yeah, but it's exactly what you signed up for.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean,
did you like what you signed up for?
Well, that's what I was going to say. Tying into everything in this podcast, that was really frustrating for me because I wasn't that happy. I wasn't happy the way I thought I was supposed to be happy when things were going.
Isn't that
well.
strange, man? So
It's such a terrible
What do you
feeling.
mean by that?
When I'd probably still do it on some level, but when I was first starting out, it's like, oh, if I could just play this venue, or if I could just sell this many records, or if I could just get into this radio station, I'll be happy and everything will be good. But I was getting to these things and I wasn't happy. I was like touring so much and not being home enough and
Were
and
you
just
married
not,
at this time?
No, I
Okay.
was dating my now wife, but I wasn't married yet. And she's always been really supportive of me doing this stuff and traveling but yeah, it was just the road was lonely. I was playing the same 10 songs over and over again, doing 30-minute sets.
Was
and
it just you, or was
I had my band out on a lot of it, and but I just was really burnt out, and that was really hard for me to get my head around the idea of like I have everything I'm supposed to want, and it's not it, And I think I heard recently Prince said that I've been to the top of the mountain and there's nothing there, which I haven't been quite to the top, but I've been around the mountain. But I didn't have like my life in order. I was just my work-life balance, which was not a term I really knew back then.
Well,
But
nor does any 20-something. Maybe they do
Yeah.
now.
yeah,
My daughter probably knows what that is. She's way ahead of her time. So then what happens? You get off the road and are you fried or what?
yeah, I was
You're
fried
at the top
and
of your game.
yeah, I was
You've got all
fried,
this shit
and we
going.
probably toured a little too long on the first one, but it was just continuing to go
Mm-hmm.
and went to Australia and a couple other places, and it was fun. But then I had the sophomore slump in a lot of ways. Because I made that first album independently and it got picked up, and then the second one I had to make with the label. Yeah, so
With an A&R man.
with
Did
an
you have a
A&R
producer
man.
on that too?
Yeah, I worked with some cool producers on that. That was just very different. It was big budget and let's get everything right and let's make sure it all makes sense. And it just took a lot of the fun out of it for me. I am proud of that record, but it was, it was just not that fun, really. It was stressful and all the stuff that you always hear about on Behind the Music. And
Right. So what do you think is stressful about having, do you think the expectations kind of freaked you out, or what was it, the budget? Was it,
yeah,
or was it just
I think it was just
the
like,
hang wasn't good?
yeah, I think it was just like, what do I do now? What am I trying to say? What do I want to say? And I had a lot of stuff. Mainly what I wanted to say was sort of what we're talking about. I wrote a lot of songs about the grass isn't as greener as you think. And, the label was kind of like, nobody wants to hear that.
We
They
need that
don't-
hit.
yeah.
It needs to sound like this.
Yeah. And they don't, they just like, people don't, and it's somewhat true, people don't want to hear about complaining rock stars and things like that. But that's what I wanted to say at that time. And I got a little bit of that on the record, but in general, that wasn't, that was kind of guided away. And so,
Those weren't the singles that they were putting out.
yeah, and a lot of that stuff didn't make it on the record, and some of it did. But
Right.
so, it was just frustrating. And then that album sort of did what it did, and then I got dropped off the label. And that's frustrating because it felt like, well, it wasn't exactly what I wanted. But
Yeah.
I don't know. In general, I'm really, really grateful for everything I've gotten to do. And I don't like to, I'm like kind of going off on a tangent here, but
Not at all. That's
I
what
think
this is all about, man.
when I talk to like younger artists and they're like, oh, what's the label thing like? I mean, I'm like, you get a lot of good stuff out of it, but eventually I wasn't of use to them anymore, and it was time to go. And in a lot of ways, I've been able to enjoy it a lot more when I'm kind of back in charge and like getting to decide what I want to do.
Do you think you lost yourself when you were signed to a major? Or not necessarily?
I lost myself a couple times?
Well, that again is something that we all suffer from. It's like, who am I supposed to be today? Who am I supposed to please today?
Right. Yeah.
That's hard. That's just soul-sucking stuff. But sometimes you can't put a name on what it is, especially if you're in the thick of making a record like that and you're expected to follow through.
Right. There's a lot of just people who are saying you got to do this, and so
Yep.
So yeah, that's one of my regrets. I wish I'd been a little more sure of myself and a little more hard and fast on like saying this is what I want to do and it's this or nothing.
Yeah.
But I was scared of losing stuff, and
Well, fear is a wonderful not wonderful, a powerful emotion, man.
yeah.
It can wreak havoc on an artist or anybody.
Yeah, but I mean, to be clear, like so many great things came out of being on Warner Brothers, and I made all kinds of fans I would have never made, and got to do all kinds of stuff, and made a lot of money I would have never made, and so all that stuff. Like, I'm happy and proud I did it, and it was what it was.
Hey, you guys, let's take a little pause here from the interview with Eric Hutchinson. We'll be right back on Music on the Run. Hey, everybody, did you know that we actually video every one of these podcasts? Would you like to see one? Head over to patreon.com/Music on the Run podcast and check it out. We've got everybody on there. Debbie Gibson, Steve Miller, yours truly, and every interview that we've done will be on there. You just got to become a partner. There's 3 different levels you can go. The top 2, you'll be able to see that video, and really, it is worth it. And it also helps us out to be able to have a little extra change to be able to produce these podcasts. You really are partnering with us, so we appreciate it. Go to patreon.com/Music on the Run podcast, and you'll see all the choices there. And now, back to Eric Hutchinson on Music on the Run. So what's life after Warner Brothers? How did you pick that up, and what was the next?
I mean, I'll just fast forward to a couple years ago. I really kind of thought I was just done making music. I truly felt like I was just, again, not having fun, and I just felt sort of trapped by the touring and just playing the same songs over and over, and I really was like, okay, I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop doing this. And I sort of made a mini announcement, and my wife made me not say I was retiring. She was like, I don't just say anything but that, because you're going to want to do it again. And I'm like, I'm not going to want to do it again. Yeah. And then, the second I really truly said to myself, like, I don't want to make music anymore, I felt this great connection come flooding back, which was just like, I just want to make music that I enjoy and have fun with, and not that I feel like has to fit on the radio or please certain people or anything like that. And I don't know. So I don't know who my fans are anymore or who's stuck with me. I've got some...
They still keep coming to the concert.
Yeah, I've got some diehard fans and some people that are really great. But to me, it's just like, I'd rather get a different job if I'm going to just have to make music that's not exciting to me.
Yeah.
Like... That's the whole reason that I like doing it, and like the challenge and the creativity and putting the puzzle together. And so that's where I'm at right now. And I'm seeing, can I do that? Can I make a living doing
challenging
it that
yourself?
Way? Yeah, I guess.
No, but that's good. You got to continually challenge yourself, or what is there left to do?
Yeah, and that is.
And we're way too young to retire, like you said.
Right, yeah.
Dude, if you got the music in you, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, like I said before, kind of like the beaver making the dam. I just, at this point, I'm like, I'll always do it. And it's just a matter of how seriously I want to take it or what I want to do with it. But I need the expression. That's the big thing I've learned is, I need to create something to feel fulfilled.
How long did you take a break for?
It was way too short. It was embarrassingly short.
You're like, I'm done. I'm ready again.
Kind of. I mean, then I made that album, Modern Happiness, which was...
Yeah, which is killing, by the
thank
way.
you. Yeah, and that was really just like, first thing I did, I was like, I'm going to make all the song titles as long as I want them to be because like, I was just like, I had a couple of rules that either I had put on or I felt like I had to put on, and I just took away some of the parameters and just said, I just want to have fun and make this album with my touring band, and it was just, a big love fest. And I was like, I don't even know what I'll do with this thing, but I'm really proud of that record. And when we toured,
should be.
Thank you. When we toured, we played the whole thing in its entirety for the first part of the show, and just kind of presented it. And there was just, I wrote. It was very personal to me. I wrote a lot about depression, and my dad. He recently passed away, but my dad's had myotonic dystrophy, which is kind of muscular dystrophy. So I have a song about that, and I was really talking a lot about that on my tour and to my audiences and stuff. And
that song is beautiful.
Thank you. Thanks.
That's a big standout. I can feel your heart on that one.
Thank you.
And I'm sorry about your pops, man.
Yeah. I played his guitar on it, which was cool. So it was a nice.
Is that the one in the video
connection.
that I saw?
Yeah,
Man.
Exactly. So
and he's the one you wrote his name on the back of the headstock.
Yeah,
How great is that? That's so beautiful.
Yeah. So that kind of stuff is cool, and now I have a daughter, and I was letting her mess around with the guitar and stuff. She's not even a year old yet, but
that changes things, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it was cool to have her. Like, it's a family heirloom, really, at this point. But but all this to say, like, I want to be able to talk about whatever I want to talk about, and I don't want to. I'm trying to live my most authentic self, as they say.
Yeah, no one could do that better than you, man.
Right. Yeah.
And then people are going to love that about your music because, I mean, in my humble opinion, when you're that authentic, that attracts people, and you can feel the realness in that. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
Talk to me a little bit about your band, and then we have to get into what you do when you're on the road, because this is called Music on the Run, and we haven't gotten there yet. But this is so important to me, man. This is so cool to get to know you a little bit. So talk to me about the Believers, man. I know.
Yeah, the Believers kind of really. I've had a lot of great musicians I've toured with over the years, and this band really just gelled together. I've been with Elliot Blofis, who's a Minneapolis native.
I know him very well.
Yeah.
What a talented cat.
He's an amazing guy. And I've been playing with him we just celebrated our 10-year anniversary together, and he's my MD. And so we've been together a long time. And then my drummer, Brian Taylor, came on somewhere along the way. And Ian Allison, the bass player, also a Minneapolis guy.
One of my favorite
he's just
people on the planet.
He always says, his Instagram says bass and enthusiasm. And it's really true. It's like...
That face.
Yeah.
It's that face.
And he just makes me feel like...
hug him
as
soon as I see him. And I do. Because he's that kind of guy.
Yeah, for sure. And he makes me feel really empowered to do anything. He's just very positive about everything.
That means he's doing his job well. I mean, to support what you do.
Yeah. And we just really gelled as a group, and we were touring, opening for Kelly Clarkson, and we were playing these big arenas and like sheds and stuff like that. And it was a big place to fill. And we really kind of just bonded and really gelled as a group. And I was like, we were midway through, and I was like, I think the band needs to have a name, like I need to be able to shout out the name here when we're finishing the set and stuff. So they came up with the Believers. And it's such an important part of the music making to me now.
Well, I bet we were speaking of the hang earlier. That's got to be an important element of not only on stage, but off stage.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's the reason for me to say yes to some shows is like, I'd love to see those guys that I don't get to see. And we really have a special, unique bond and are like family. And we love kind of getting back together and getting to hang out and then go back to our other lives, But I'm really grateful, and I've really learned a lot from them. They're just really, we have a saying in our band that not all great musicians are great people. And,
true.
But these guys are great musicians and great people, and I've learned a lot from them about how to be kind and be professional at the same time. You know?
Right on. Well, let's talk a little bit about fitness, man, because that's what we're here to do. So tell me like a day in the life on the road. How does that fitness thing fit in for you?
Yeah, I mean, I was really happy when you asked me and when you said that this was what you guys talk about, because I do think that's something that took me a long time to get on the road. I just find so much about conserving my energy on the road. And I used to, like, especially in the beginning when I was traveling, I would go out and I'd try and see a museum and do all this stuff. And then by the time the show happened, I was just beat, so tired.
A little catering and a little...
Yeah, exactly.
And then a show.
Yeah. But now I'm really like, a lot of the day is about sort of getting a good lunch. As I said, I like to eat. Yep. But then getting in an exercise. I started working with a vocal coach named Liz Kaplan in New York. And one of the big things she really works into the thing is a lot of stretching and into the singing. And like, she really just changed my opinion on, or just educated me on like how much opening up my hips and thinking of my whole body has to be stretched out before I can start singing.
Really?
So yeah, a lot of my pre-singing, pre-show rituals are, I'm using my mouth, but I'm also stretching my legs open and my arms. And, my band likes to make fun of me.
Of course they do.
Make
It's
ridiculous
their job.
things. But I'm never embarrassed by it because I'm like, my job is to be able to hit that one note.
Amen to that.
So I'm like, I'm more impressed if people can do it without warming up. I mean, it's totally changed my voice and how I approach stuff. And so
Stronger,
all that being
more
said,
dependable.
Yeah, for sure. And I can wake up in the morning and it's not there, but I have confidence that like I know there's a certain amount of stuff I can do to at least get it into a working shape.
Right. Crisis mode.
Yeah.
If there is one, you can go, okay, I have the tools.
Yeah, and I mean that's a huge, because otherwise it's waking up and it's just panic in the morning, and
It's the worst.
it's hard to explain, to other musicians that if you're not the singer, because it's like you wake up and you open your guitar case and the guitar's been smashed in while you were sleeping, and you're like, how am I supposed to do this? Yeah.
So you need to find that's so important, and I know a lot of artists will be listening to this, and it's fascinating, I think, to see how different people treat their chops and how they warm up or warm down, or what is crisis mode? How do you go straight to the doctor and get, what is it, the cortisone or whatever, or do you avoid prednisone?
I've gotten that once.
I've done that once, and that was it.
Yeah.
But that was scary.
Yeah.
I
mean, the main things for me for my voice are rest. It's not very rock and roll, but I go to sleep early and I try not to talk if I can avoid it in the day, or I just really like being aware of how much I'm using my voice. Mm-hmm. But getting to sleep is the biggest one because it recharges myself, but also I'm not talking to anybody late at night and hanging out. I'm not in a bar screaming and stuff. And so I try to avoid alcohol as much as possible when I'm on tour, and I'm kind of just going to sleep. And I mean, because my voice is just very sensitive. And if I am out yelling and stuff, I can feel it the next day. And nothing is worth it to me. Very rarely is it worth it to me that the next day I'm like, I'm not able to sing the way I want to. Like nothing feels better than going out on stage and being able to just float the way I want to be.
Right. Just know and be confident that it's going to be there, and you get to do what you want to do. So
I'm pretty boring on tour and resting my voice. I
wouldn't call that boring. I'd call that smart.
Well, it's professional, I guess. If I'm being
God forbid,
nice.
right?
Yeah.
God.
But all that to say, so I've been really aware of my body and how much my whole body is important for me singing and feeling like I can sing. And so I try to do a lot of things on tour that are related to that. A lot of like yoga and Pilates. And I do go running a lot as well, just to, because there's a lot of...
We have a runner here.
Yeah.
We have a winner. We have a runner. Our first runner.
Yeah. Well, if you're a musician and you're on tour, like it's a lot of sitting around a lot of the time. It's very easy to have not done anything all day by the time you go on stage. And that can really just mentally, it messes me up if nothing else. So and also it's a really cool way to check out a city, like
Absolutely.
That's the best. You can get a run in and kind of just see everything and feel it. And so that's really big. I'll do a couple runs a week. And then, like I said, the Pilates and the yoga, I can really feel the difference when I do them like that day in the show. Like it's just, I run pretty tight in general. So like opening up the hips and like stretching everything, sweating out stuff, I really do notice it. So I try to exercise every day when possible. And I think it's just, again, like as much for the brain as it is for me.
That's what I was going to ask you, because for me, when I go on a run, I get to get away from the phone, email, social media, all the things that are demanding of us now as artists. I can either go listen to Today It Was You, which was awesome. But I've learned when I was going on tour with Peter Frampton, I would learn songs just by drilling them into my head and not thinking about where I was going to have to play.
Right.
It was just grooving on the music. So it's a real escape for me. And mentally, I don't get that if I'm sitting behind my laptop or wherever the case may be, or in the studio. Really, really helps energize my creativity and my mental balance, because it can be.
I don't know if you find this, but a lot of times I find if I'm working on a song or working on an idea, a lot of the pieces will come together on the run.
Exactly.
Stuff suddenly makes sense in a way that like it didn't before. I get a lot of good ideas.
Thinking about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So like that's another creative bonus is, I sometimes have these epiphany moments that actually make sense of a lot of the jumble of stuff I've been doing. So that's really great. And, but I talk to some people like, oh, I don't run, or, you can start with a walk. My wife and I have a saying where it's like, anything's better than nothing. So it's like, oh, I don't have the time for a 5-mile run, so I'm not going to exercise. So it's like we try to just, you can go out for 2 miles and just get something done. So
2 miles, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
In my case, maybe a little longer. Your case, you're younger than me. He's probably running 7-minute miles.
No, I'm not that fast at all.
Did you just do, I read that you did a half marathon. When was that?
That was last year, I guess. My wife did it. She was pregnant while she did it.
Oh, awesome.
So she one-upped me. But,
of course.
And she was like having to stop to go to the bathroom a lot. And I was like, yeah, we're stopping for you, not me,
What's your wife's name?
Jill.
Jill.
Hi,
Jill.
Hi, Jill.
Way to go.
And so actually she's talked me into, we're going to do my first full in November in New York. She's done one.
Are you doing the New York?
We're doing it, yeah. And
did you qualify for
No,
that?
I didn't qualify, but we get
Raising
in through
funds?
through the fundraising stuff. So I've been kind of working on that. I've still not totally have my head around it, but I kind of just want to do one. I just want to do one to check it off the bucket list. But I don't think I'm the guy that's going to get like addicted to having to do them all the time. Like my brother-in-law is a extreme like trail runner. Like,
oh yeah,
he'll go out and just do 25 miles on a whim just for fun. And
sounds like our producer Davide.
Oh yeah,
he's nuts. He's a little out of his mind. He's like, come over to my house. I got a lot of hills. I'm like, no, that is not happening. Oh.
Yeah,
but that's awesome, man. If you're November, you're probably just getting ready to start training for that. If you don't train for that, you're in big trouble.
That's what I've been telling my wife. I'm like, because she didn't really train that much for the half. She's like, I can just do it. It's mind over matter. I'm like, we're not as young as we used to be, So yeah, I've been running. I'm running pretty often, and like I said, it just and here in Minneapolis, I got to do a couple of runs on the. What's it called? It's that great path, the
Greenway.
Yeah, the Greenway.
Sure.
Especially this time of year and everything in the summer, it's just beautiful, and it's been a really nice treat here. So
I probably passed you. I ran, like I said, I ran 4 today, and I ran 9.
Oh wow!
On I don't remember Tuesday. Yeah, it wasn't smart because we just did a half on Saturday.
Oh no way!
Did not go well for me. It was a run walk half.
See, that's my thing though. It's all about finishing. Like I don't even know my times. Like that's not my thing. I was never good at sports because I'm not competitive enough,
Yeah.
But I like this thing because it's really just about like there's only one thing: did I finish it or not?
Correct.
Like,
yeah.
And did I feel better? And did I do it? And it's kind of like I enjoy it for that. And yeah, I have a couple friends that are they're so healthy on the road, and the joke is kind of like yoga's the new drugs and stuff, It's like, but it is. I'm not. My rider is super boring and really healthy because the hardest thing to find. You can find junk food everywhere on the tour, but the hardest thing to find is like actually good things. And I'll just house whatever's around. So if there's a huge bag of Snickers, I'll just eat all of them every day. And I just have to
sugar junkie over here. I run so I can eat sugar.
Yeah, exactly. I run so I can have dinner. A big dinner.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about how you said your rider is boring and healthy.
Yeah.
But that's really cool because it's so easy to get on the tour bus those 3 pizzas are for me.
Yep.
You guys get your own.
Yeah.
So that ain't happening.
Sometimes it'll happen later, but I'm not usually doing that stuff. I mean, whatever. I eat all kinds of crap all the time. But
Yeah.
I just try to give myself better options, you know. It's like, and so it's, you know, it's just trying to be healthier. It's like nuts and fruit and stuff. Just a healthier option that hopefully still getting me. But, you know, I feel better. And that's a big one too. It's years and years of just eating whatever, you know, and you feel like crap. And I generally feel better if I'm sort of just taking care of myself.
Yeah,
and that's a lot of it, you know. I mean, I was just thinking today, because I've been in the studio, I'm kind of like in tour mode a little bit here of just like getting up, doing some exercises, getting my like mentally ready.
Right.
And I was thinking like, man, I should take care of myself this well at home as well as not just like when I've got to be ready to perform and stuff.
Right.
But you know, it's a different thing when I'm home. I just kind of get up and the day's happening already. And
You move along.
yeah.
So what's next for you, man? I mean, you're here actually, playing a show.
Yeah.
Tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night at the Cedar. And I'm doing some solo acoustic stuff. I that's how I started touring for many, many years. I was just playing by myself because that was the only way I could afford really to get around.
Yeah.
And now I still like to really connect to those kinds of shows. So we're doing this fall. We're doing I'm calling it my uncorked shows. We're doing solo acoustic shows at wineries and stuff like that. So it's, you know, come have some wine and listen to me play the music the way I wrote it, you know?
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Lots of stories.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, and I like to talk and share some stuff. To me, that's always what I really love, learning facts about music. You know, oh, this song was actually written about this, even though it was this. And so I like to share that kind of stuff.
You do a really good job of that on the internet, though, too, with your podcast and stuff like that.
Thank you.
Going through and talking about all that. I think that's super vital on how you connect with your fans and how you keep your fans and all that.
Yeah,
it's a
you know,
lot of work.
I've just done a lot of like, what would I really want if I loved an artist? Like, what would I want from that artist? So I've just done all the things that I love other people doing. I don't know how many people actually listen to my stuff or like it, but yeah, we did these podcasts kind of really doing a deep dive on like each song and what it's about. And like I said, I'm just like trying to do things that are inspiring to me and that make me excited to get up and make music.
Yeah. So tell me just a little bit. We're talking about health, obviously, but how do you keep your family healthy while you're on the road? Meaning, how do you keep those ties with your baby and your bride?
That's definitely,
super
you probably
important,
could offer me some help on that stuff for sure. But
I'll be the big brother here anytime. You got my number.
But
it's hard.
I'm still
man.
learning definitely with the child and everything. I took a lot of time off because I just really wanted to be around.
Yeah. Good for you, man. That's important.
Yeah,
you know
and
important.
I'm fortunate I can do something like that. But it is time to sort of get back to work. And but yeah, you know, my wife has a pretty flexible job, so she actually comes out a lot. Sometimes it's good to be the boss, you know, because the family can come out and be on tour with us for a bit. We took our
that's great.
But we took our newborn daughter out. She was like, I don't know, she must have been 2 or 3 months old, and she came out on the tour bus with us.
Oh man,
and that was hell. Like that was way harder than bringing her home from the hospital. Like that was really hard. But we got through it. We got the picture of us with her in front of the tour bus and everything.
Classic.
So we did it. But that was difficult. But having the family come out and sort of being able to, that's my wife's really pushed me in that direction of like, you're already in blank place. Why don't we make a trip out of that? Or, you know.
She seems like she's really cool and supportive.
She is very supportive and very positive. And, you know, it's weird. She doesn't really ever like want to come out to the shows when I'm in like Nebraska. It's always like she always shows up when I'm in California. Then suddenly
she's
she's
come
available.
to Minneapolis, man.
She comes to Minneapolis a lot.
Okay,
and we've had a good time. Celebrated her birthday here one year. She was a sport about that. I was like, I got a show on the birthday. I'm sorry.
Whoops. Ooh.
Yeah. But
bad husband.
In general, you know, it's a lot of just. I mean, it's amazing. I'm not sure what it was like when you were starting. You had to get to the payphone. I'm not even making, you know, I'm being serious.
I had to get to the payphone.
But it's true. I had some band members that were a little bit older that I play with, and they were saying like you'd show up.
It was. I'll tell you, it was before FaceTime. Let's just put it that way.
I mean, that's the future. We're living in the future.
FaceTime, being a dad now, you are golden.
Yeah.
Back in the old days, I was like trying to get my 6-month-old to throw up on the phone. Anything. Hi, honey. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would. That's so cute. She's barfing on the phone.
But it's like sometimes a gift and a curse with how much we can be connected. Because like sometimes the FaceTiming is almost like it's like it's a tease almost, or else sometimes can make me sadder even. It's like I'm so close, but I can't actually be there, but it is amazing. It's amazing, and just being able to text throughout the day and not have to actually find a time to jump on the phone and connect has been really helpful. So
modern technology helps on making records and the whole bit.
Modern technology is great in moderation, I feel like.
Everything's good in moderation. I don't
true.
even know how to say that word. That's my problem. Snicker bars? Oh, I'll have 12. Oh, man. Yeah. That's why we run.
Yeah.
That's why we run. So do you have any gadgets or anything that you have that assist you in your running, or do you have a certain shoe you like? Or
I'm not that fancy. I use an app. I just use an app that tracks, and that's helpful to kind of just know what I'm doing. And like I like being able to look through them all and just see all the places I've gone for runs.
Is it Strava or Map My Run or anything like that?
Map My Run, that's it.
I've used that for years.
Yeah, totally works great. And
what's cool about that is that people can chime in and go, dude, nice run.
Right.
Way to go. It's like, it's nice to connect that way. I mean, I love that stuff. We use Strava, which is another great app.
Okay.
It's not on Strava, it didn't happen.
That's right.
Okay. Got it.
Oh, yeah. We'll hip you to Strava. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
But I mean, to me, it's like I said, sort of, it's been, I don't know if it's like that for you, but just, there's that time where you're like, I know I'm going to feel better after the run or whatever, but I really don't feel like moving right now.
Oh, yeah.
And just getting myself motivated. It's like that's the best self-care there is, where it's like your whole body, I don't understand why it does that, why your body's telling you no, even though you'll feel better afterward. It's such a confusing thing, but.
Yeah, it's running is a funny thing too. And when you start getting up in the higher miles, your legs may say no and your lungs may say yes. That's the boat I'm in. So it's like, when is it bad to keep going? And when do you have to push through?
Right.
These are different things. And then you have to go, do I got a show tonight? Maybe I shouldn't do 18 miles tonight. I finally learned that the hard way.
So you're just doing 18 miles on a casual day?
Oh, well, they're not casual. You got to psych yourself up. for those.
Yeah.
But it's part of you'll see. It's part of, you've got to do that to yourself.
Right.
You don't want to just all of a sudden show up and try to run 26.
Yeah.
Unless you're crazy.
Yeah, I'm not crazy.
No, plan that one out. But you'll figure it out, man. It's a cool feeling to be able to say, I run a marathon.
Yeah, right.
I've run 4.
Have you run 4 marathons?
I have not well.
So, like I said, man, it counts.
You did a couple of good ones.
2 good ones, 2 bad ones. Yeah, the last one not so good.
You finished them all?
I finished them all.
There you go.
I've got the proof. I've got the pictures. I got the Strava. I've got the all that stuff. Well, dude, this has been just so enlightening to hang out with you.
Thank you. Thanks for letting me blabber on here.
No,
for a
man,
while,
it's super educational, and it's just good to get to meet you. I've heard your name for years, and
likewise,
it's really fun to actually meet you. Well, great, man. Thank you so much for taking the time out.
Thank you.
What a pleasure. Eric Hutchinson on Music on the Run. Thank you. We'll see you next time. We out. Music on the Run was hosted by yours truly, St. Paul Peterson. Produced by my buddy Davide Raso. Edited and recorded by Ivan Sebastiano. Recorded at the Workhouse in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Remember, keep your head buried in the sand. You'll feel much better. Well, that's it for this edition of Music on the Run. And I want to say a big thank you to Eric Hutchinson. Man, it was so great to get to know you a little bit better, Eric, and thank you for your transparency on the show. I think that a lot of people will get so much out of you sharing your story. You're a hell of a musician and a hell of a guy. Wish you all the best in 2020 and beyond. Hey, and a special congratulations to you, Eric, for finishing the New York City Marathon. Join us in 2 weeks when we're going to have Kevin and Michael Bacon on, also known as the Bacon Brothers. That's in 2 weeks on Music on the Run. Until then, thanks so much for listening. And if you like what you heard, please make sure you subscribe wherever you got your podcast. Leave us a review and a rating. And if you really love us, go to patreon.com/Music on the Run podcast, where you can become our partner and actually see the video podcast. We'll see you soon. Thanks so much.